Hey everyone, Ryan McElroy, General Manager down here at Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. Just wanted to take a second and go over some of the differences between buying and leasing. A lot of people have questions. A lot of people, the number one reason why people don't lease is because they just don't know, they don't understand it, or they got bad information at one point or another in their life. And so I just wanted to take a minute. Most people come in here and they do a buy. Most people will purchase their vehicle. They'll do 60 months or 66 or 72 or 75 or even doing 84-month financing. I've heard about some dealerships doing 94-month financing. There's a buy. We also have a lot of customers come in here and they do a lease. So let me go over some of the real quick differences here. On a buy, what you do is you pay for the whole car regardless of how much you use. You also pay on all the taxes, again, regardless of how much you use. Most people do not end up getting down to this point where they pay off their vehicle, where they get a title in their hand. Most people end up trading here or here or here or even here, and then all of a sudden we're having to deal with negative equity and all that stuff, all the payoff. A lot easier choice here would be a lease. What we have is General Motors comes in the beginning and they choose a residual. They determine what they feel the car is going to be worth, say, at 3 years and 45,000 miles. If I'm already losing you, hold on, stay with me for just a second. If you're thinking, see, that's why I don't lease, 45,000 miles, that's not enough for me. Don't worry, I've got a mileage program just for you. I can go lower miles or I can go much, much higher. You'd be surprised. Let's just use this as an example. Let's just say you lease a car after 3 years and 45,000 miles. General Motors determines what they feel the car might be worth at the end of the term. So all you have to pay for is just from the beginning down to that point. You also only pay on the taxes. So you only use the amount of car that you only pay for the amount of car that you use. If at the end of the term, at the end of your lease term, you say, I want to buy it. Great, this isn't Rent-A-Center, this is your car. If you want to buy it, that's your first choice. So let's use the red because you love it. And so that's your first choice. You get to buy it. So what you do is you pay for the rest of the car from the residual down. You also pay on the taxes all the way down. Now what's really neat about this is if you bought it in the first place versus leasing it and then buying it for the rest of it, guess what? It equals each other. You're paying the same amount. There's no difference. But what's different is with a lease, you have more choices. There's more options. So I went over option number one, which is you love it. You keep it. Great. Here's option number two. Let's use green for this one. Money. Whoa, now I probably got your attention here. How do I make money on a lease? It's real simple. General Motors determines what they think the car is going to be worth. Let's say it's worth more. Let's say it's worth this. Guess what? That's your equity. You can either trade it in and take that equity and apply it to your next car. You can sell it outright. This is your car. This is your money. All General Motors wants to make sure they get the residual. If you want to sell it outright at any point during a lease and it's worth more than what you can do it, no problem. Let's just say the opposite happens though. Oh, your car is worth less than what General Motors says, which will happen sometimes. Now all of a sudden the residual is this, your car is only worth this. Now all of a sudden I have this negative equity. I'm upside down, which is what happens a lot of time in the buy. You come in here, we call for your payoff. All of a sudden we figure out your car's worth this. Well, now all of a sudden I'm dealing with this negative equity. I've got this tail hanging behind me. I've got this negative equity I got to put back on top of a new car. Well, guess what? In a lease, you don't have to worry about that. In a lease, all you have to do is, let's go with blue. I don't know how well you can see blue. Let's go with a happy face there because now all of a sudden you have this negative equity. Guess what? In a lease, it goes away. It disappears because General Motors says, you know what, we'll stand behind our car. We are willing to buy it back for this amount right here. Well, the car's only worth that. You know what, let General Motors deal with it. Let them deal with it. In a purchase where you've had to buy the whole thing regardless of how much you use, guess what, that falls back on your shoulders. With a lease, you have a few more options. That's a real surface kind of a description of a lease versus a buy. I'd love to answer any more questions that you have. I've been up here 18 years here at the dealership. We do a lot of leasing. A lot of our customers are very happy with the leasing. A lot of times the number one reason why people lease versus a buy, let me go here. This will be a shocker. It's a lower payment. Now I'm probably talking your language. So if you have any more questions, please give me a call up here at Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. I'd love to answer them for you. Again, my name is Ryan McElroy, General Manager at Sunrise. Thanks so much.